of intentions as the world prepares for 2025 Hajj exercise. FCT Police Command raids black spot in the territory, arrest criminal suspects. Good evening and thanks for joining us again. Here is the news at 7 on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. And now let's begin with tax matters. Tax professionals have described the tax reforms bill currently before the National Assembly and awaiting President Bola Tinubu's assent as a welcome development that would ease the burden on businesses, stimulate economic activity, and address the issue of multiple taxation. Serafina Okonomekwe reports that this was the position of stakeholders at the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Kubwa District Society investiture and induction of Dr. Wisdom Oshadare as its second chairman. The report.
The only way we can get revenue now is revenue from taxation.
As part of its efforts to boost tax compliance, transparency and efficiency in Nigeria's tax system, tax professionals have converged here to contribute their quota to address challenges of tax laws, legislations, and implementations. Their submissions are simple: reforming the tax ecosystem and staying true to civic obligations.
Every individual in the developed client is connected to the IRS, so it's connected to the entire revenue service, so that whatever you do, they'll be seeing it and they'll be viewing it, so that now you have nothing in hiding. So these are some of the things that I know later on in life we are going to consolidate. And you see, of course, Nigeria have issue of even identity, that we don't have a single identity. Now, so you have the state, the FRS have an FRS team, you have the states, different states have a different team, then again we have a NIN, so there are so many things, they have BVN, none of them is synchronized, none of them is together. So these are some of the things the bill also seek to address, that we are going to have a unified kind of numbering, and now that will also help us to see invoicing and see tax history very easily. Some certain tax element will be expunged.
Taxation is what we need to help the government to run the society. So the aspect I think our institute is trying to do, bridging the gap between the people paying the tax and the government using the money.
The 16th President and Chairman of Council, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Samuel Agbeliyu, and representative of the FIRS Chairman noted that we bring about a unified tax system that would work effectively for all states of the Federation with heavy reliance on technology.
We know that it is going to change the landscape, taxation landscape in the country. And in the course of inauguration of the committee that worked on that bill, the President said he wanted the tax ratio to GDP to move from 10% to 18%. We believe with proper implementation of this bill, we can even surpass 18%.
This investiture is coming at the time that we are reforming the tax ecosystem and the tax landscape. So we would require support and the support of the CITM to provide advocacy.
Lack of proper invoicing VAT systems were some of the bottlenecks being experienced in executing tax administration without the expected successes. High point of the investiture was the inauguration of Dr. Wisdom Ajayi Oshadare as second chairman of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Kubwa and District Society, along with other executives.
We want to offer value to our members. In the past, our leaders, they've neglected taxation because of the revenue from fossil fuel. And if you look at it now, fossil fuel is no longer fashionable.
And also topping the agenda of the second chairman is building capacity of members, trainings on contemporary issues and taxation for effective administration. In Abuja, Serafina Okonomekwe, NTA News.
The worship of Allah through the holy pilgrimage of Hajj as one of the 5 pillars of the Islamic faith. Imam Sheikh Khalifu Surub Abdullah of the Sanusi Entire Memorial Mosque re-emphasizes that it is an act of ibadat that should be done with sincere intention and conditions as it is achieved for things. The cleric gave this reminder in his Jumat sermon at a time the Muslim world is preparing to go for this year's Hajj. Abdullah Hajjah completes the story.
Sheikh Khalifa Sur Abdullahi, in an elaborate explanation of his sermon, talks about Hajj at a time the Muslim world is preparing for another holy pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. The cleric says worshippers as intending pilgrims must have the knowledge, wherewithal, as well as good intention before embarking on the spiritual journey.
Hajj, like any other acts of worship, is highly rewarding. Pilgrims must avoid ostentation in their performance of Hajj. Perform Umrah and Hajj for the sake of Allah and not for show.
Purity of the heart and wealth. In addition to understanding the rites and rituals of Hajj, the Imam emphasizes as important to the act of worship that is highly rewarding.
Any pilgrim who performs Hajj correctly, the Quran says he has been granted paradise as a reward. And Hajj rites require health and wealth to fulfill. It is not for the weak and poor.
The congregation in unison ask Allah to bless them and the country through His mercy and holiness. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajjah, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, disassociates itself from the fraudulent account number. JAMB says the account is being exploited to defraud unsuspecting candidates who missed their Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. It issues this urgent notice to inform the public about the nefarious scheme targeting candidates who were unable to participate in the UTME, as some unscrupulous individuals are deceitfully soliciting payment of 15,700 naira under the false pretense of offering rescheduling services for the examination. The board describes this as a blatant scam and is confident that the public will not fall prey to such cheap and regressive tactics. And now to security matters. The FCT Police Command says it arrested 1,611 suspected criminals in the month of April for various criminal offenses. Commissioner of Police Ajawo Saka Adewale in the press briefing says the successes achieved are a result of intensive raids of several black spots across the territory. Onoti Yakubu brings us details.
But without barrier.
The highlights of achievements show that the FCT Police Command recovered a total of 21 suspected stolen vehicles, with 15 suspects arrested in connection with the various cases. Commissioner of Police Ajawo Saka said the command undertook comprehensive analysis of crime patterns following rise in cases of car theft and drug-related offenses, leading to these breakthroughs.
I want to equally appeal strongly to members of the public that will continue to feel security as a collective responsibility. When music changes, the dancing step ought to change. Everybody should be concerned and be intentional about the security of not only their person, including their assets. For instance,
CP Ajawo Saka further explained that through credible intelligence-led raid of IDP camp Durumi, Kuje Gudaba Tipa Garage,